So today I was thinking about talking about the current real estate market. This is a topic that most of the people are talking about these days because the economy is not so good. The house prices are so high. I just thought I should come and talk something about my experience as a real estate agent and what I have seen in the last 15 years or so. So I'm a real estate agent in Toronto. Mostly I work in Pickering, Ajax, Whitby area. Um, this is where I like to sell, and I live in Pickering, so I just try to stay on this side to sell houses for my buyers and the sellers. So I got my license in 2009 or 2008. So for almost 15 years now. Um, I have been practicing for that long. Um, in my first 5 to 10 years, um, it was good. I enjoyed real estate. I enjoyed selling. I enjoyed my work as a real estate agent. But in the last 5 years, I haven't been very active at all because a lot of things changed with the market and the prices were going up so much. So I just didn't feel like selling because the price was so high and people were buying houses where they even cannot afford. So I thought I just should slow down a little. And during that time, I was doing during that 5 or 7 years, um, I started doing home renovation, which gave me a good knowledge of the houses because I do basement renovation and we build decks in the backyard and flooring and all that stuff. So it gave me a good experience in the last 7 to 8 years while I was doing this. And also I'm still doing it. It's not that I have stopped my renovation work. I'm still doing it. And also I am starting my real estate career again. So I have been active for the last 2 3 months. And so I thought I'll promote my work on YouTube too. So about 15 years ago, when I got my license, the houses were very reasonable and people were able to afford their houses. The reason if they were selling, the reason they were selling was they were moving from one location to another location, um, or they had to downsize. It was this regular things that they had to move for. But today, when you look at it, the reason they are moving, most of the people, they're selling because they cannot afford to pay the mortgage. That's what's happening right now. So 15 years ago, when I started selling, I I was mostly listing houses for people. I was not a buyer agent, but I was mostly a listing agent. I enjoyed walking the streets and putting my flyers to get more work. So by putting my flyers in a certain street or few streets, I started getting the traction and people started calling me. So when I first listed my house in that time, 2009, I think, or 2008, I cannot remember exactly. The house that we listed was 269,000. It was a three-bedroom house and it has three washrooms and it was 1,500 square feet. It was a townhouse. The basement was finished, but it was not an apartment or as such as it was not an apartment or as such. So when we were listing a house those days, it was taking about a month and a half to get a house sold. And we had to work a lot to get the house sold. So when we put it up for sale, if you put for 269, normally it sell for the same price, or it might sell 10,000 less than the asking price. At that time, we knew if this customer wants to get 260, we just put 269 to see if we can get 10,000 extra. But in realistically, the customer wanted 260. So if we get 260, they will still willing to give it, right? But from 2009, like at that time, right, a household income was 60,000 and the prices were 260,000. It was like three times the price. Three times your income was the home price. And it was very easy for the people who are buying to afford because they were paying like from their income, from their yearly income, they were paying 30 to 35% towards the mortgage, right? That is very comfortably they can do it. And they have the rest of the money that they have from the monthly income is for their daily expenses, savings for children's expenses, things like that, right? But today it has completely changed. In the last 5 years or so, right? The builders have been increasing their house prices. Because the builders are increasing the house prices, the regular homeowners, they also increase their house prices. So now today, when you an average home is like 800,000 to 700,000 to 800,000, and the average income is 90,000. How can this be? Average income is 90,000 and the average medium home is 700 to 800,000. It's almost 8 times of your salary, whereas it should be 3 to 4 times of your salary should be the house price. This is 8 times. And people kept buying this, right? Thinking that these are going to be investment properties. And the real estate agents, they just kept pushing it, pushing it. So when I saw this, what's happening, right? People are buying where they cannot afford. I just didn't feel like getting a buyer to go buy a house like that. It was getting bad. So that's one of the reason I slowed down, um, and I went really into home renovation. And I see right now lots of people are struggling with this, and people who bought high prices, they bought at a higher price because the interest rates were very low. It was like 1.52%, right? And but they forgot in 5 years they had to renew it and it can go up. These are people who came to Canada recently. The people who really bought the last 4 5 years are the people who came to Canada very recently. Like they would have come in the last 3 4 5 6 years, and they thought this is reality. They can make fast money. The banks were giving cheap money, right? And they thought we can take the cheap money and make quick buck. So people who bought now, they are all lots of people are stuck. If they lose their job in this market, it's very difficult to get another job. So this is the situation right now. And I'm back again trying to sell houses. And I know a lot of people are struggling to sell, I mean, struggling with their mortgage. And I want to help them if they want to sell. And that's why I'm back again. So hopefully, because I have the experience in selling, but I didn't have, in the last 4 5 years, I haven't sold, right? So in this few years experience, I don't have, but I have experience from 2008, 2009, for about 7 8 years. I was very active. So if you are in the market to sell or buy a home in Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, or in Oshawa, call me. Let's see what we can do to get your home sold, or we can buy your home. I just want to tell you one more thing. Like, if you are going to buy a home, I want you to be ready with your mortgage. I don't want to show you something where if you're not ready to buy. And also, I don't want to show you houses where you're making only 90,000 and you want to buy a house for 900,000, right? I don't want to put you in trouble. I just want to make sure if it's like 4 times your income, then it's fine. If you're gonna target at that, right? But if you're going to stretch a lot, right, where you cannot make it, if you think housing is a investment, it's going to keep making money for you. No, it's not going to do that. It's Housing is a long-term investment, right? So if you have that in mind, and if you want to look for houses, yes, I can help you. Okay. All right. So I just thought I'll talk about it, and we'll see you in the next video.